This is the story of a retired hitman trying to stay out of trouble until the Russian mob provokes him, and he turns their world into a nightmare. The film opens with Hutch Mansell in an interrogation room, battered and bruised, this time with a dog by his side. Two agents sit across from him, pressing the familiar question, "Who are you?" Not long before this moment, Hutch had slipped back into the life he once tried to leave behind, working as an assassin. Taking on contracts from the barber to pay off his debt to the Russians for destroying the Obshak, Hutch finds himself drifting further away from his wife, Becca, and their children, Brady and Sammy. Though committed to his work, Hutch admits to himself that it is costing him precious time with his family, a burden that weighs heavily on him. One day, Hutch sees an advertisement for a summer town called Plummerville, a place his father, David, once took him and his brother Harry to when they were kids. With summer break approaching, he convinces Becca and the kids to take a family trip there. He promises her that, for once, he will keep his work life completely separate. Hutch even informs the barber that he is requesting a break before taking on another contract. The Mansells pick up David from his retirement home so he can join them on the trip. After arriving and getting the kids settled, Hutch and Becca finally enjoy a quiet afternoon together, sharing wine and rekindling intimacy that had long been overshadowed by distance. Later, the family heads to the local water park, only to find it unexpectedly closed due to an incident. As a small consolation, they're given hot dog coupons. Hutch leads the family to a nearby diner, where he recalls childhood memories with David and Harry. His nostalgia, however, draws the suspicious gaze of the local sheriff, Abel, who takes notice of the newcomer. The family heads to the arcade after receiving free passes. While there, Hutch tries to connect with his son Brady, who's sporting a black eye, originally chalked up to football, though it's hinted to have come from a fight. Brady casually hands some tickets to a pair of girls showing interest in him, then uses the rest to win a prize for his sister Sammy. Trouble starts when one of the girls' jealous boyfriends, Max, confronts Brady and cruelly tears Sammy's prize in half. Brady retaliates by punching Max in the face and twisting his arm. The scuffle draws arcade staff, and Hutch steps in to break it up. The family is asked to leave, but as Sammy picks up her broken toy, a staff member slaps her arm away. At first, Hutch restrains himself for Becca's sake, but moments later, he storms back and unleashes his fury, pummeling the staffer, another co-worker, and a would-be hero who tried to intervene. Soon after, Hutch and Brady find themselves at the police station, where Sheriff Abel prepares to interrogate Hutch. There, they encounter Wyatt Martin, Max's father and the wealthy owner of the Plummerville theme park. Enraged that Brady injured his son's pitching arm, Wyatt orders Hutch and his family to leave town immediately. Hutch reluctantly agrees, but Abel secretly instructs his men to take care of Hutch permanently. The following day, Hutch takes his family on a duckboat ride. He quickly notices Abel's men tailing them. To protect his loved ones, he sends Becca, David, and the kids onto one boat while he boards another, drawing the four goons with him. Hutch first tries to defuse the confrontation, but when the thugs attack, he reveals he's far more than an ordinary tourist. Despite losing his pinky in the fight and being thrown overboard, Hutch resurfaces and viciously dismantles his attackers. Later, as one of the battered goons is wheeled away, missing teeth and pride, he calls Abel to deliver the bitter news: Hutch survived. Hutch reaches out to his brother Harry for support before contacting the barber. The barber reveals a dark truth about Plummerville. Beneath its charming small-town facade, it has long served as a hidden hub for drug trafficking and bootlegging. At the center of it all is Lindina, a ruthless and unhinged crime boss. She is introduced at her casino, seated at a poker table. When she discovers her opponent has been cheating, she executes him, the dealer, and every single witness in cold blood. The barber sternly warns Hutch, never cross Lindina. Meanwhile, Wyatt is revealed to be under Lindina's thumb. Years earlier, she killed his father and forced him to shoulder his father's debts, binding him to her operation. Though Wyatt longs for freedom, Lindina has no intention of letting him go. After their conversation, Lindina calls Abel, another one of her pawns, exposing her duplicity by double-crossing Wyatt. She orders Abel to keep Wyatt in check by taking away something, or someone, he values. Abel seizes Max, holding him hostage. Hutch tracks Abel and his crew to a warehouse stacked with cash intended for Lendina. Without hesitation, Hutch drenches the money with gasoline and threatens to set it ablaze unless Abel leaves his family alone. Abel reluctantly agrees, but as Hutch exits, he spots Max being dragged away. He turns back, unleashing carnage on Abel's men. In the brutal fight, one thug attempts to kill Hutch with a table saw, only for Hutch to slam the man's head onto the spinning blade. By the end, every last goon is dead, except Abel. Hutch frees Max, then shoots out a light, igniting the gas-soaked cash and nearby chemicals. The entire warehouse erupts into a fiery explosion as Hutch drives away with Max, leaving Abel scarred but alive. When Lendina learns her fortune has gone up in flames, her men present her with surveillance photos of Hutch and his family in Plummerville. Abel, burned and seething with vengeance, contacts her, urging retaliation. Enraged, Lendina rallies her forces and officially declares war on the Mansells. Hutch sends David, Becca, and the kids to a nearby lodge for protection, knowing the villains will target the hotel. He also brings Max along to keep him safe, finally mending his relationship with Brady in the process. Before leaving to face the danger head-on, Hutch confesses to Becca that he broke his promise to keep his work away from them, and he urges her to distance herself for her own safety. Hutch then confronts Wyatt, who is furious and drunk over Max's disappearance. After a tense scuffle, Hutch calms him down and reassures him that Max is safe. Wyatt reveals his bitter history with Lendina and his desire for revenge. He shows Hutch's late father's stockpile of weapons, intended to be used against Lendina before she killed him. Together, with help from David and Harry, they transform the theme park into a deadly, trap-laden battlefield, preparing for Lendina's arrival. Meanwhile, Becca quietly arms herself with a rifle, leaving Brady in charge of the kids. Lendina and her army storm the park, while her brutal Lieutenant Cartouche leads another squad to assault the lodge. In a ruthless show of power, Lendina has Abel executed, dismissing him as a nuisance, before unleashing her men against Hutch and Wyatt. The traps are sprung, grenades hidden in swings, landmines buried in the ball pit. Each mercenary is wiped out in spectacular fashion. At the lodge, Brady fights off one thug as Max protects Sammy, until Harry arrives, cutting through enemies with his katana before engaging Cartouche in a fierce duel. Their clash ends with Harry decapitating him. Back at the park, Hutch, David, and Wyatt are eventually overpowered. Lendina moves in for Hutch's execution, only for Wyatt to take out one of her lieutenants, triggering chaos among her crew. Just as Lendina prepares to kill Hutch herself, Becca arrives and fires tranquilizer darts into Lendina's chest and eye, momentarily halting her. A final wave of enemies charges in, but David detonates the last set of explosives. As the park erupts in a massive fireball, Hutch and Becca dive into a pool for cover. Lendina, with a twisted grin, perishes in the inferno alongside her men. Later, Hutch and Becca are seen in an interrogation room, dog in tow, as federal agents grill them. But after a call from higher authorities, the couple is released. The Mansells finally return home, enjoying a slideshow of family memories from their trip, photos of laughter, bonding, and even Wyatt and Max, who are now part of their circle. For once, Hutch sits in peace, smiling as he embraces the quiet joy of family life.